Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Okay, so this photo has 3 pictures in it, sort of in landscape format. The top.
I can't see the photo, so you describe it.
I have to describe it. Yeah. So there are three pictures stacked on each other. The top one is there's like texting on the right. It's like screenshot with some texting. The middle one is. It's not the same building. It's a different building, but you can see damage, like shooting damage or I don't know what it is, like some kind of explosive. And then the bottom one is a photo of the same building from farther away. I guess it's photos inside the kibbutz of housing that. So there's a tree. It's like. I can't read the text because it's it's quite small. Let me see if I can enlarge this. But yeah, so what I see is screenshots of phone texts, and I don't know. Do you remember what the picture is that you sent?
Yeah, I do. What we see in that it's actually a slide from that PowerPoint which I showed you guys on when we meet in the States. So those pictures were taken in Kibbutz Kisufim the day after. It's Sunday morning, 8th of October. After turn down the fire. I can't exactly say if there's still the body are still lying there, but those houses are few of the houses who got hit by the terrorist Saturday morning. Some of them just been shooting inside. Some of them were completely burned down. There's 29 houses like this in the kibbutz. There's about 110 houses in the kibbutz. So 29 of them is, you can calculate it's a very high percentage damage. And the text, I took those texts from the WhatsApp group of the community. We use WhatsApp as a communication between us.
Yeah.
Like informal communication way.
Of course.
Between all the kibbutz members, all the friends of the kibbutz, we have the WhatsApp group, and that WhatsApp group was the main communication way that morning because there was no electricity. Some of the cellular net wouldn't work, but WhatsApp did work. And I took some messages from that morning. So what you can see in those bubbles, the WhatsApp messages, are communication between the community members talking to each other, telling them, where are you? I don't exactly remember what it says, but you can find it in that WhatsApp group. Watch out! There is terrorists inside the kibbutz. They're outside our houses. They're knocking on the door. They're trying to break in, and they're killing us.
Yeah.
It's if you look in that WhatsApp group, you can see the drama happening every time, again and again. It just that WhatsApp communication. It's something that left behind. I mean, it's not like a phone call that when you hang up the phone, it's gone. You can
gone. Yeah, so it's still there.
It's still there. You can read it again and again and again, and you can see it happening. You can see if you look at the time on that WhatsApp group, you can see the time. You can see the drama going on and keep going on hours and hours.
So on the 7th of October. Where were you while this was happening?
Okay, I was, as I said, I also live in a kibbutz, which is in Gaza envelope, but like a few minutes away from Kisufim. I was at home. I was
Mm-hmm.
just preparing myself to. It was early in the morning, preparing myself to go out work in the garden, and then it all started. I have a small radio which I can communicate with the army. So I grabbed that radio and my gun, and we went into the safe room, and because I was listening to that radio, I could understand what's going on. I could understand there's a big mess going on. I couldn't understand the
Mm-hmm.
size of the mess or the depth of that terrible situation, but I could realize there's a mess. So I myself, after a few minutes in the safe room, I went out. I told my family, stay in, don't go out. I have to go. And I grabbed my gun and I went out. And I drove to Kisufim. I had to take a long way. I couldn't drive the shortest road because you can understand it was fighting going on there. And I couldn't get into Kibbutz Kisufim that morning because it was all war zone. I post myself in a gas station which is like 10 kilometers, 3 miles away from the kibbutz, and in that point, it was a kind of gathering point where when we started to evacuate the people from the kibbutz, they evacuated. If they arrived to that point with the armed vehicle, and from that point, we put them on the buses and we send them away to the hotel in the Dead Sea. I was standing there with the list of the people and
Mm-hmm.
hours by hours waiting for the people to evacuate and marking the names. And I could see on the list
Mm-hmm.
who is alive and who is still missing. And then using that radio and my phone, I tried to point the people on the ground, the soldier inside the kibbutz, where to go,
Mm-hmm.
who are still missing, try to evacuate them, try to save them. And as time goes by, it's like it was it was nighttime, so it's like almost 24 hours later. The list started to show who is alive, who is still missing, and who is we already knew who has been killed, who has been
Mm-hmm.
missing. And only after it took me another few hours on that spot, and then I went. I took my car and I went down to that hotel in the Dead Sea,
Mm-hmm.
like to meet up with all the community and try to gather them together, make sure everybody who arrived there are safe, and try to start, you know, do my thing, and we're still there. It's 3 months, 100 days
Yeah.
passed, and we are still on that hotel.
Right now, you're in that hotel still.
Yeah, right now I'm not there, but I will join them later this day.
Okay. One of the things that because I've been to Israel, and I live in Hong Kong now, and Hong Kong is basically has the same population as Israel, so it's 7.5 million, so maybe a little bit less, but much smaller territory. But what I try, like, what's very real to me is that we're all connected. You know what I mean? Like it's so personal. It's not like this thing, like these people are super far away, right? So for example, like, I think right now there's like 130 people who are kidnapped, who are still missing. I don't remember the specific number.
129. Yeah.
129. Okay. So in terms of how far away, so I'm talking to you. That's it. Like, it's us. And then me to you, in terms of human connections, like, Do you know somebody directly who was kidnapped, or do you know somebody who knows somebody? Like, just to make it people understand, like how close that that feeling is. Like, how close is that?
Okay. So as I told you, I live in right next to Gaza in that area we call Gaza envelope. I work here as
Mm-hmm.
a community manager for the last 20 years in almost all the communities, all the kibbutzes. So I know hundreds.
Yeah, you must know all of
I know
them.
them
Yes.
personally. Some, just for example, one of the people that got killed in Kibbutz Nirov, he was my secretary when I was the manager of that kibbutz. The other two kids are still hijacked in Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother was my colleague for 6 years. We worked together in the same office, and
Wow.
I talk to her every day. I call her and I ask her how she's doing, if I can help something.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, we work together. We are colleagues. We're still friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew those kids. One of them is 7 years old. I knew him when he was 1 year old, and she used to come
Mm-hmm.
to the office holding with the the baby trailer
Yeah.
with that baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I mean, I know hundreds of them
Yeah.
personally because I was their friend, neighbors. They live in the community where I was in charge of. Hundreds of
Yeah.
them.
First of all, I'm so sorry. Like it's just for people who have been through very traumatic experiences, and for some people who listen to this, it's going to be very difficult because they've been through traumatic, difficult experiences. And ultimately, I think what it is what your relationship is to that trauma is, like how can you talk about it? How can you, wrap your head around, how can you heal from it? How do you come to terms with it? So you're going around telling your story and trying to have people connect to understand that this is very real. Like, how do you put your head around what you lived through and have to deal with?
I don't know how to deal with. I mean, it's such a big event. I can tell you one thing. My grandparents, they born in Germany and Poland, and they've been through the Holocaust, and they survived, and they came to Israel as survivors, and they established those kibbutzes in the northern part of Israel, and they got married, and they have families, and they live their life. They dead now, yeah, but till the last day of their life, they wouldn't talk. They wouldn't. We try to ask a lot of questions. How was your life before Holocaust? How was
Mm-hmm.
your time in the camps in Poland? How did you survive? They wouldn't talk. They wouldn't say a word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe they were scared. Maybe they didn't believe themselves. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe the trauma was so big they couldn't hold it.
Yeah,
They
put
couldn't
words to
express.
it.
They couldn't express it. And I think what I'm trying to do is work differently. I want to talk about it. I want to share
Mm.
my story. I want to share my personal story. I want to share my family story. I want to share my neighbors, my community story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like them. I want to share the story. I want people to hear that story. I want people to know what happened, how it happened exactly, because I think that's a a better way to deal with it for the world and for myself. When I tell my story, when I share my story, it's like helping me take out all my bad my trauma. Okay, and then a fresh beliefs can come or thoughts can come inside. I help myself and I share the story of a community and I work. I spread the story, unlike my grandparents did. They kept the secret. They kept it as a secret, as a mystery. We don't know exactly the details, and I want to bring the details out. I want to share the details. I think it's a better way to deal with the trauma, and I think the world should know what happened there.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.